Hi, good evening, and welcome to the Minority Report. Yet again, another installment on Tuesday, and we just begin the month of August, having come out of our Emancipation Day celebrations yesterday, and it's indeed an honor and a privilege to be here this evening with you and to have you be here with us this evening as we all thank God for life, first and foremost. This evening we have a very interesting program lined up, what I call the special edition Minority Report. However, let me do the needfuls. You can view the program on Tobago Updates Facebook page, as well as the website and YouTube channel. I mean, the Facebook page is the most commonly used, or you can send your questions and comments to the WhatsApp number, which is 284-6597. That's 284-6597. Continue viewing, sharing the live link on the Facebook page, and we want you to make some comments. We want you to share your comments and so on, share your concerns, raise questions with us as we go along. So we want to know what you're thinking, and those of you who are viewing, what are some of the issues that you have that you want us to be able to ventilate in this space and on this particular platform. So the number to send your messages to 284-6597. And we move right into our What's Good moment. Wow, we have so much taking place in Tobago. But I want to kick off the congratulations this evening, and we're going to get a lot more into it as we enter this special edition of the Minority Report. I want to kick off big congratulations to Minority Leader and Assemblyman Kelvon Morris on an amazing, the words, I can't even describe how that it came off. An amazing, a wonderful, a real captivating sports and family day. I mean, we've not seen an event of this magnitude in terms of bringing persons together for quite some time. And and let me not say too much to let a lot out of the bag, but we're going to get into some discussions in a while. So congratulations to Assemblyman and Minority Leader Kelvon Morris and his team, quite a competent team at that, on organizing and executing an almost perfect or almost flawless sports and family day. I know that the people of the electoral district of Darrell Spring Wim, as well as many other persons who would have attended the event, they definitely had a wonderful time and would have come away with a lot of lifelong experiences at the end of the day. I want to move on now to Nicholas Paul. We really want to say congratulations to him on winning three medals at the Commonwealth Games: gold, silver, and bronze. And I mean, the gold came at a blistering pace on Saturday, and he subsequently went on to medal on 2 occasions again. Congratulations there going out to Nicholas Paul. Also, we want to congratulate the Calypso Monarch winner, Shamika Dinoon. I don't know how many of you would have had the opportunity to look at the show or even to attend, but I mean, her rendition was really deep and touching, and it was moving. It's the first time you've seen in a long time persons both standing on their feet and sitting on the seat and have the same expressions. And you could have tell by the time she was finished with her performance that she was definitely a forerunner. I want to also thank those who would have come out yesterday, and let me officially say happy emancipation, saying it from the platform of the Minority Report this evening, to those in Tobago and Trinidad and Tobago and the wider region. I think that quite a lot can be said about emancipation and so on, but we're going to get a bit into that. And finally, What's Good moment, we want to congratulate Forward the band, and I especially want to do this because we've seen since the COVID restrictions have been lifted, we've seen a number of activities and so on, primarily parties and that kind of thing. But here it is that Forward the Band, the gospel band, premier gospel band in Tobago, would have taken this step to really put off a wonderful concert where they would have brought many of artists, gospel artists together, including our very own Blessed Messenger, who really brought the curtains down on the night. So I want to congratulate Forward the Band, also interviewed here on Tobago Updates last week, for really putting off an amazing and a touching concert. And we look forward to a lot more like it, to give persons the opportunity to choose the spaces that we enter. This evening we're going to go right into our program as soon as we get back from the break. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
The Street 919 FM and the Tobago Updates presents the Tobago Updates Morning Show live simulcast on the Street 919 FM. Start your day with all the information you want and need with the simulcast of the Tobago Updates Morning Show live Mondays to Fridays from 7 a.m. on the Street 919 FM, the official station that defends the nation.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorns Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorns Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
And we're back this evening on the Minority Report, and we're literally raring to go this evening because I have in studio with me this evening two very special people that were severely missed. I know a lot of persons have been calling and messaging, so we have, they're back. Folks, they are back. I know that they are definitely winning the hearts of the public, and I want to take the opportunity to welcome, first of all, Minority Leader, Assemblyman Kelvon Morris, back to Minority Report.
Thank you. Good night, Maryland. Good night, Tobago. Good night, Trinidad and Tobago, and everyone logged on to Minority Report. I missed you all dearly.
Very well. And the effervescent, I have to use those words because these two people are radiating here tonight. The effervescent Minority Councillor, Mrs. Petal, Danielle Benoit, welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back. It's good to be here this evening on another episode of the Minority Report.
Nicely. And this evening, what we're going to be doing, we have a special edition of the show this evening. Yes, we have a special edition. We're going to be having a lot of nice discussions and so on, but with a serious context. We're going to literally be looking today at the Sports and Family Day.
Oh, wow.
That was held yesterday.
I hope you have Petal.
We saw a lot of laughter. We saw tons of love. We saw community spirit. We saw family. We saw support. I mean, and I can go on and on. We saw teamwork. We saw hard work. we saw coordination, we saw professionalism, and people are going to see for themselves. I'll ask the director to just run this clip before we begin the discussion.
Assemblyman Kelvin Morris. Sports and Family Day right here at the Idlewild Recreation Ground.
Today, the village and the communities of Darrell Spring are truly one. As a representative, I would have envisioned a day where we can come together as a community and just have fun, you know, utilizing sports as a vehicle. So of course, you would have seen today we had football, we had novelty events, we had some sprints, because one of the things I've recognized is that sport is something that really unearths the best of people. And I recall Kellyanne Baptiste, the first time I saw her run was at a Novelty Sports and Family Day. And it's through these grassroots events we are really able to unearth Tobago's next set of sporting talent. So we really wanted to bring together all the communities from Montmary, Montpelier, St. Cecile, Pump Mill, Wim, Glen Road, you know, and bring the families out on a day like Emancipation Day. And we chose Emancipation Day because we understand the struggle that our foreparents went through and the fight for freedom. And we thought on Emancipation Day we should bring together the community so that we all can celebrate our freedoms as well. So I just want to thank everyone, thank the community for buying into this vision and coming out in their overwhelming numbers. I want to thank the organizing committee who would have utilized their various skills to ensure that we can coordinate such a wonderful event. And we look forward to it getting bigger. We look forward to it getting better. And as a representative, I look forward to doing even more for the communities of Darrell Spring with.
Yes. I am certain that even in that clip we saw all the words that I would have called and even much more. And I mean, there's heartfelt appreciation when I looked at that video. Also being there in and out myself, and I saw from children, toddlers, because there was a bouncy castle zone, there was a children's zone and so on. And I saw toddlers participating and running all over the place. And moving forward from toddlers, I saw grandparents. I saw grandparents. There was such a wide cross-section of persons that came out to the event. Vendors, sportsmen, non-sportsmen, dancers. I mean,
even politicians.
It was politicians. You know, it was just an extremely diverse event. And I want to get into.
Hey, look, Petal.
You see there, we see Petal. I mean, you can't miss her. We see the Marcus Daniel of Tobago updates as well. We see the Veens. Yes, nicely. Hugh Roberts.
You have a son that could really
yes. Very athletic, poised. Yes. He won one of the races, and we see the young ladies lining up. Kwesi giving some instructions there in his coaching, Bouncy Castle zone, the children's zone. And I mean, it was really a pleasure to watch and to see these children and teenagers and adults and seniors come
really
together in the same space, and there was no quote-unquote generation gap.
No, it wasn't. But Marilyn, you must note, we saw the pictures of the children in the bouncy castle, but not only children participated.
I had a good slide.
Seriously? Well, when you were in the bouncy castle as well?
We both were.
Wow. No, that is
Did the tug of war pictures pass already?
I
Because
didn't
I
see
wondered
them.
where was
Yes,
Marilyn.
yes.
I didn't calling out for Marilyn. Marilyn, we need you.
A great anchor, right?
Yeah, my plan was to anchor, but I was called upon to anchor
Oh,
something
Marilyn.
else. Yes, at that exact time.
You see Jelly's focus.
Jelly is very focused there.
First time I've
Everybody's
seen him
expression.
focus like that.
And mind you, in this one, the All-Stars won it. So this team that you are viewing now is actually the All-Star team.
They were the
So
winning
the
team.
All-Star team won the tug of war, 2-1 pulls in
Wow.
favor of the
But
All-Star team.
when you look at the faces,
Yes.
the expressions,
The
this is
energy,
a team that's
listen,
serious.
determination.
Yeah, this team serious about what just had to be done,
listen,
man.
And it's so
There's
much
a
skill in the
mixture.
tug of war. It's not just
Yeah.
about force. You have to be able
Exactly.
to pull at the same time, know when to hold.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
so
we
much
just
lessons
saw a
to learn.
picture with the Honorable Senator as well.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Present.
yes,
He's
yes.
to the back in this one. Gracing the spots. There he is. He's so tall that he outgrew the camera lens even. You know, and it was really something to see this cross section. We see some of the seniors there,
Yes.
real stalwarts.
Yes.
In the community and outside of the community, and this is a clear
Nancy.
example
Yes.
of the age group
Yes.
that was
Yes.
present.
Yes.
We see
Yes,
the
yes.
baby, we
So
see
that prize
the
was she
grandparents.
got the youngest attendee.
Yeah.
Oh,
And Miss Nancy
okay.
was the eldest at 79. So we had a wide.
So we had between 1 and 79.
Yes, 79.
Wow,
yes,
there's
yes,
a
yes,
lot
yes.
of people there.
So there was
From
something
Monday
for
on.
And there we see
everyone.
moms
Yes.
looking very swag,
Young
very
girl.
very swag. So let's chat a bit. Kelvon, this is your brainchild. Those of us who are around you often enough always hear you talk about family and appreciation and that kind of thing. Share a bit with us this evening and the viewers the beginning or the genesis of this whole thing.
Well, the inspiration came from former A Representative Claudia Groom-Duke, who used to do what she called at the time the Family Festival. And what the Family Festival was in the same vein, bringing together all the villages and communities in the electoral district to a day of recognition, a day of celebration. So that family festival would have celebrated all the persons doing well in education, business, you know, and really encouraging them to continue to do good work. And one of the things I've always pledged as a representative, being inspired and motivated by Assemblyman Claudia Groom-Duke, is to really walk the talk. And you will recognize in my mini manifesto for the district, we talked about doing and having an inter-district calendar of events. So throughout the year, each year we will utilize sport as an important vehicle to connect the families, connect the communities. And so this is a first start to what would be a series of sport-oriented community events.
Wow, very, very nice. And really, I must commend you. It's commendable, I should say, that you always give honor to whom honor is due. And former Assemblyman Claudia Groom-Duke, I know she's listening. I know she's always logged on. She really made an impact, not just on the community as a representative, but on individual lives, including yours. That you can see her legacy even being acted out or played out in other responsibilities. Minority Councillor, you were there.
Listen.
Tell me how you felt when you walked in.
I felt really, really proud. From entering the venue, you felt as the young people say, you feel the vibes, like you felt the energy of the atmosphere. Football was in play at the time, and on both fields there was teams participating in what was a very competitive football competition. You saw the children playing, from babes in arms to just running around, the energy, the vibes, like it was just so great. And I want to again commend and congratulate the minority leader and Assemblyman Kelvon Morris for Darrell Spring WIM on this initiative, also his team for the execution of the event, and Shal Marcus
Yes.
for keeping the energy on the day.
Big shout out to Shal Marcus.
Shal Marcus.
I don't know which name will settle on him, eh?
I think the whole tone was set from the weather, and I want to thank Almighty God, because when I the night, you know, over the last couple of days, weekend, we had a lot of shower, you know, and it was predicted 50% chance of rain, and really heavy showers at that. And I kept saying to myself, Father God, you know, we really want to have this event, this first one, come off really good, and please hold your hand. And man, God came out and showed up and showed off.
And even when the day got too hot, he just...
The mist, just...
a drizzle.
It was just perfect.
And yesterday we really had some high points in terms of the heat. The sun came out. I remember at one point in time I was there, I was standing in the stands, and I wanted to come to talk to you a bit, but when I thought about the distance to walk in the heat, I decided, now let me wait until Kelvon comes back in. And so we really thank God for that. And you know, it's important, and I want us, we're going to go for a break shortly and come back, because we want to discuss the significance and the impact that an event like this can have on a community, you know, because we see so much taking place around, and even in the news now, there's so much that persons could be disappointed with and unhappy about. And so I want us to when we get back, get into the significance. We're going to go for a break, share the live, let's get more persons involved in the conversation, because I think this is something that is definitely going to be beneficial to all of us, because this can be a model or a template that we can also see spiraling out throughout Tobago, not just the family day itself, but the community spirit and that camaraderie that we saw built. So we're going to go to a break, and then we're going to be back to continue our discussions with Minority Leader, Assemblyman Kelvon Morris, and Minority Councillor, Mrs. Petal Daniel Benoit. We'll be right back.
Morning, good morning, put a smile on your...
The Street 919 FM and the Tobago Updates presents the Tobago Updates Morning Show live simulcast on the Street 919 FM. Start your day with all the information you want and need with the simulcast of the Tobago Updates Morning Show live Mondays to Fridays from 7 a.m. on the Street 919 FM, the official station that defends the nation.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorns Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorns Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
Welcome back to the Minority Report, and before we get into it, I just want to say that the Minority Report has truly gone international. We have someone logged on from Thailand.
Wow.
Nice.
Good night,
if I could have
welcome to the Minority Report.
I would have given them a shout out, but welcome to Thailand on the Minority Report. We're going to continue the discussions this evening, and we want to share a bit and have both of you present or share a perspective on what is the significance of an activity such as this. What is the impact that we can see coming out of it?
Well, the first one is really about family and family life, and providing safe spaces for families, you know, to come together, to fellowship. And it also allows, you know, we have been locked down for over 2 years. And, you know, when you think about the mental sort of impact of COVID-19, this also provided an avenue for families to come out and just be able to have fun. And you could have seen it, you saw it on the children's faces, that they could run freely without a mask, and, you know, they can really be involved and have that kind of camaraderie. It also tells us that a lot can be done with little, because it's amazing, you know. So an event like this, people would want to believe that a lot of money was spent, but we had to, because, you know, you're begging and asking for sponsors. And I want to thank those persons who came through for us from the communities, those community-oriented business. Of course, you know, I am fortunate to be located along the plains of the Central Business District. So we would have tapped into those businesses. And one of the things I believe more and more, you know, is to really challenge businesses to reinvest into their communities as well, because that investment goes a long way. Yeah. We would have unearthed a number of talents. I recall there was one guy there who runs an athletic club, and he started actually scouting, recruiting persons right there. And as I mentioned, Kellyanne Batiste, I remember that was how that talent, raw as it was, came through in an event like that and was spotted. And perhaps this initiative may have unearthed the next Kellyanne Batiste. So there's so many takeaway points, and so much to appreciate from something like this.
What stood out to me was the willingness of the community to come together and support an initiative such as this. From the vendors, because I would have took my family to the event, particularly my 2 boys, you know, 2 little children. And I am sure I would have patronized every single vendor at the event. And what I received in terms of service and the taste of the delicacies was high standard.
Wow.
Very high standard. So the community is willing to participate and support in whatever way they can. What stood out to me is the support from the sponsors. Because as the minority leader would have indicated, most of the prizes for the games and the tokens, the medals, came from businesses and individuals within the community. So people are willing to give back to their community. And of course, the participants. From the time I told my children, so we are going to a family day today, that was it. Everybody just wanted to move right away. Mom, where are we going? When are we leaving? And I thought that was for most of the other children who were there. From the time they get to the venue, it was like, exhale, we reach. So take over the field, bouncy castle, running the novelty events, and you see the eagerness of all the children in particular to participate in the events. So for me, the coming together of the community, the wanting to excel and be a part of an event like this really stood out to me.
I just want to take the opportunity as well to shout out Mr. Dwayne Lyons, who was the coordinator, and his team, all the persons who would have been involved, Marcus, Daniel, Kerry, and you know, the rest of the team that would have really ensured that we're able to execute, because it's one thing to plan, but to implement is
Yes.
another thing, and it really came together beautifully, and you would be amazed as to the limited interactions that we had. But it shows that once you put systems in place,
Correct.
and you hold people accountable,
Yes.
and you continue the follow-up, so you have to continue following up with people and ensuring that, and you have your checklist, and you continue to work it right down to the day, you know you can be successful. So I want to give them my big shout out. I want to thank them for their willingness, for their voluntary service to this cause as well. I want to thank the people of Darrell Spring WIM. Each and every one of you, you really warmed my heart. I feel so, humbled to be your representative. And I was pleasantly surprised at the turnout. And we did this with minimal resources and even advertisement. We didn't do any public advertisement, and we just utilized the social media route and some direct invitations, and the villagers, the residents answered the call, and I want to thank them.
I also want to note, the minority leader, to note that not only persons from Darrell Spring WIM participated. There were people there from several other communities throughout Tobago. So it just shows you, you know, the kind of pull. That
what was keen to me was the misconception of you know, a lot has been happening in Tobago since the year began, and there has been a general tension in the atmosphere. We've seen quite a number of things in terms of workplaces, labor issues, and so on, and people are every day on Facebook and all the other media platforms ventilating and spewing negativity, and there is a general perception that, listen, people will not participate in anything, people don't want to see anything. But I think yesterday proved that, or dispelled that particular theory.
And the thing is, sport is a unifier. It is one of those things that would bring people, regardless of whatever other, you know, intricacies that kind of thing. Sport is one of those things that really brings people together, you know. And I looked at the different sort of. So you had the young, the not so young, and the old, and even the events would have brought together all these, you know.
As so you would have seen with the aerobics.
So it was really, you know, this event motivated me and to really continue to work hard on behalf of the people. You know, one of the things as well I noted, I said, you know, God, don't make a mistake, because remember, I came into this 6-6, so not being spoiled by being in government and depending on the resources of the state. And we had to find a lot of innovative ways to deliver during that 6-6. And so it sort of prepared me for life in, you know, in opposition, where you now would not really have those direct resources, and you now have to be very creative, innovative, and you have to work with your community to get things done.
And that just reinforces the conversation that we oftentimes have in relation to the People's National Movement. We work, we service in office and out of office. And we find innovative and creative ways to service our communities.
Very, very well said. I want to, I know that, I mean, you can sense the excitement and the euphoria that you all are literally basking in. I want you, Assemblyman and Minority Leader, to when we do things, there's always expectations coming out of it, and I know there are expectations that you will have now from your very community and the members within your district, because you would have seen what happens when they come together. So I want, if you were to share, let's say, just 2 expectations that you would have of your district, and you have the opportunity now, the stage, to speak to your district, what would they be?
Well, the first thing is for us to continue to be our brother's keeper. We know that in this period, a number of persons, even from the district, would have lost jobs. We have immediately back to school. And, you know, it means that families would now have to find uniforms, books, and it's getting increasingly expensive to fund these things, and especially when you're without a job. So just how we came together as a community to you know, have fun and to basically come together in sport. I hope that we can come together in charity to really ensure that we can help the less vulnerable, the ones that really need the help, the assistance at this time. Because I continue to really feel the pain of those persons who were summarily dismissed without any real compensation. And I continue to get the calls. I continue to hear the cries, actually, just last week on my return. You know, it brought me back to the reality of what is happening on the ground in Tobago. Now, the young lady broke down to me in tears because rent and the avenues, what we have now is a challenge, and I don't mean to move away from the sport, but we have a challenge in Tobago right now where the social support systems have really fell down, and the avenues for support is very difficult. So whereas before you could have walked into a division, the division of health, and come out with some kind of comfort of support, whether it be a voucher, a food voucher or so, it not happening like that again. The young lady told me she was so demotivated and defeated. She didn't want to go back, and I had to say, well, I would make sure and secure transport and whatever. But I said, just go back and go through the process. But it's because you now have to go through a system that interviews you, and you have to wait for them to do an assessment, and you're not even too sure when the results of that assessment would come. So it's really difficult. So I expect as a community, and I'll be calling on the community again for us to come together, especially in the first instance, to treat with those families that are at this point in time unable to provide back to school books, uniforms and other stationery items, because education, I have seen what education can do for individuals, for families, and we must be able to be our brother's keeper in this time.
Wonderful, wonderful. And as you were speaking about that, in terms of speaking to the community and the initiatives, I know one of the things that you would have had functional is the Meals on Wheels, and also the hamper support. And as you were speaking there, I saw a vision, as it were, of a sort of curbside drop-off. Normally we have curbside pickup, but I saw something like a curbside drop-off of groceries and food items that persons can just pull up, hand a bag, whether it's 2 tins of peas, a pack of rice, a pack of sugar, and it's something I think is just an idea I'm sharing with you, that you could probably look into and have your team at your office as well develop on it, because every day, even if you just stand at the side of the road, the number of the vehicles that pass and people call out to you and so on, if we convert that traffic into drop off something in the district and pick a central location, and you know, person just pass and hand something, and once it's advertised and marketed correctly, I think that you could find yourself without space, you know, because given the way that I've seen the people of the district really support each other and not just look for support from the state. You know, I would have been privy to that from since last year, and persons within the district really have given support to their fellow district
I must residents. Say, I'm really fortunate to be placed in a district as the communities of Darrell Spring Way, Mount Mary, Spring Garden, Mount Grace Heights, Idlewild, Pump Mill, Sangsters Hill, you know, Montpelier, Glen Road, Darrell Spring. And throughout the district, the persons, they are always willing, and you know, they are reasonable as well. Some of we have some challenges as well, you know, we are not without challenges, and especially now that I am the lone opposition representative, you see where I'm not getting the kind of support from my colleagues who are on the other side, because we have a number of infrastructure. In fact, in Darrell Spring, for instance, Spring Road, there is an unfinished project there that all it required was just a final phase of paving, and it has now gotten so bad that the road is worse than before, and it's just and the thing about it, on the other side, which is not my side, work continued. So you're seeing the disadvantage even at this
is just across the road.
Yes. Even at this port, you're seeing a gentleman came up to me and right by Costat, which I don't know what is wrong with, like, the smart Tobago isn't that smart, because we would have sent that particular road with, it is a very it's an ISO in terms of a gaping hole. A gaping hole. Right now it could be like probably like a swimming pool. You could actually swim in there, and it's by one of the major educational institutions, and we've sent the GPS location to SMART, and up to now they have no feedback, nothing. And these are some of the challenges we are experiencing, but we continue to do as much as we can, and the residents, as I say, continue to be very reasonable and very understanding as well.
I want to, and you started down the path that I wanted us to also go this evening, because I know and would have observed even during the sports, as much as persons would have enjoyed and came out and ventilate and you know, just relieve the stress. But I know every other person came to you with either a question, an issue, a need, and so on. And I also wanted you to use this platform and take this opportunity to identify some of the needs that exist. You would have already spoken to the Spring Trace issue, which I know has been an ongoing issue with persons there. And it's good for everyone to know now what is the issue with that. It's not that the work has not started. The work was well on the way.
Yes.
Well on the way.
But since this administration has taken responsibility, we've seen now a mysterious holding up of the job, causing the road to actually deteriorate. So I want you to share with us some of the other needs of persons within the district, not just infrastructural, but again, I know you would have had many stories just yesterday alone.
Well, employment continues to be another challenge, a big one as well. We're hearing in one division in particular would have recruited over 40 or 60 persons, and not one person was chosen from my electoral district. So there again, you're seeing the discrimination. We continue, we are trying to, that very facility that we had, the Idlewild Recreation Ground, is one of the most utilized facilities in terms of training. So you have a number of youth academies. In fact, the team that won is one of those teams that utilize that ground as their home training base. And you normally fellas from Glen Road, from Montpelier, from Wim, Idlewild come across and use that venue in the evening to have their various small goal sweat. And they are now clamoring for the playing field to be lit. In fact, that is something we were well on the way in terms of having advanced conversations. And I'm now trying to see, hopefully, if they will consider continuing those conversations to the point of implementing and installing lights at that facility as well. We continue to be challenged. When you look at even the social support, when we send in the applications, I talked to one gentleman yesterday who told me flatly that in the last disbursement that said everyone was treated with, he did not receive a grant. So I was shocked, because I know the administration did confirm that they had X amount and they dealt with everyone. They dealt with all. So there again, we have to ask the question, is this discrimination to the people of Darrell Spring Wim?
Wow. I mean, it's a sad note to go down in terms of this part, but I think it's necessary so that persons can understand some of the challenges even you face as a
we should talk about the
representative.
challenges that we face as a minority, because even then the stories are horrific, and I want Tobago to understand that it's not easy. We may walk around with a smile, and but it is not easy representing your interests. And I don't know if it's willful, I don't know if it's just by accident, but advocating on your behalf has not been easy from the point of even the office where we are. Every day, I had this morning I was so frustrated because every day we enter the building, there's some car parked in front of the entrance, to the point that you cannot access the office to which you're going to do the people's work. And we have enunciated, we have pleaded, we have begged.
That is only one aspect.
And that is just the
that is just the
first. That is just entering.
But there's another one with entering. Sometimes you enter the office, and because of the location, because of how insecure it is, you experience, or employees, they experience human feces.
Yeah,
as they
there's
enter.
no security.
So there's a challenge, and
Any day somebody could decide to walk up on the minority, let's God forbid, no security in the building, not even a camera.
yeah, and having to experience that as an employee, walking in the morning, what kind of day?
Then
You
the
anticipate.
building itself is compromised. One time it's hot, next time it's cold. You don't know what you're going to meet on any given day. It's an OSHA hazard. It is. And we have written letters after letters. We even went to the point of trying to help them to do their jobs by identifying possible alternatives. And we have been ignored. It is quite troubling. It's quite stressful, traumatic.
One thing that does in fact come out even in listening to this is the commitment that you all have.
We will not
with
be
respect to
deterred. We will not
executing the-
lose focus, because we understand what is at stake in terms of Tobago. Tobago, you would have entrusted the PDP with your governance, and I'm hearing from you every day that you have made a mistake. You're recognizing that they're just not up to scratch, and you need us to keep them honest, to keep them on their toes. You need us to make sure that we bring out the issues of the day. And I can tell you that there's so many, so many, and we would continue to do that oath that we took on your behalf to ensure that we execute our duties without fear, favor, malice, or ill will. And even if I have to sit down in the street to do the job, I will do that job to which I was assigned for this 4 years.
Yeah. And sometimes, Marlon, it's only by God's grace.
Yeah.
God's grace that keeps us going, and the support of people out there.
When you look at the structure, and we've been having a conversation, and I want people to understand the disparity. We've been having a conversation for the last 7 months about the institutional strengthening, which everyone agrees is required. Even the Chief Secretary agreed it was required because they sat on the other side. And the division, or the Office of the Deputy Chief Secretary, started their conversation around the same time. They are now fully in a building. They are staffed. Their structure has been approved. Till you could hear rumors of one person unqualified as they are being engaged to the tune of very, very, very exorbitant sums. But here we are trying to get the requisite and justifiable position, something like legal. We are dealing with a number of different requirements, especially in our legislature. Our legislature needs somebody who understands the law. And we don't even have that kind of access
Leverage.
and leverage. within
The
our
Office of
organizational
Minority,
structure. We have to communicate. We don't even have someone with the kind of like a communication specialist who can give us the kind of support,
yeah.
so that we can communicate to the people of Tobago in an efficient way. And I'm saying to the people of Tobago, you have to understand the kind of limitations that we are operating under. But as I said, we will not be deterred. We will not lose focus. We will continue to do the job to the best of our ability. And we have always said, what is good for Tobago, we will give full support. And what is not in Tobago's interest, we will be there as the bastions, taking the fight to them, ensuring that Tobago's interest is preserved.
So true, and on that note, I really want to also take the opportunity to thank those members of the communities throughout Tobago, as well as business persons and otherwise, who have definitely stepped up to the plate in terms of supporting the work of the minority. Every single contribution, recommendation, conversation, advice definitely has gone a long way in being able to build the type of momentum thus far that we've seen. And so much has been done by this minority council. As a matter of fact, someone said to me just this weekend that for the first time in Tobago's history, they understand how a minority is supposed to operate.
Because you would recognize, because we started to do things that other minorities, we were actually being criticized.
Yes.
But more and more people
understand the
they are understanding the role of the minority, and they are actually seeing the value of an alert minority.
One of the things that I'm happy that from the get-go of this minority, what we sought to do is to understand our role and our assignment and put things in place to assist us in executing in terms of our mandate, our vision, our core values. And whatever we do, we keep that at the forefront. And
So true.
because the previous minorities did not keep the quote-unquote administration or executive council in check, this minority was seen as one where, why don't sit down, why don't shut up,
Shut
what
up,
you're
yeah.
asking, you were there before, why you didn't do it? But the people spoke. The people spoke, now we are on the other side, and our role and responsibility is to ensure accountability, transparency. Whatever is good for Tobago, we will support. Whatever is not, we won't support. And keep the executive council and this current administration in check. And we will continue to do that with the resources that we have available to us.
And you mentioned a very critical word there, transparency. And the other one being accountability.
And the next show, I believe, should be an interesting one, because this
Yes.
word transparency.
Yes. I think we have quite a lot to discuss with Tobago, and today we just wanted to get the discussion of the family day and sports ventilated.
But Tobago, you have to wake up.
Yeah, Tobago.
Don't just let these people put you into a drunken stupor in terms of fet you and lime you out, and you know, while you know the term when the cuts away, the mice will come out to play. So while you're there liming and having a good time, they are doing and they are fixing themselves.
Stealing Tobago's heritage.
Well, they are fixing themselves.
So I know that as the Bible says, he that had an ear, let him hear. And Tobago, I want to just give that teaser. The next program is definitely going to be a heated one, an excited one, because we have a number of issues that we want to be able to call on the administration to give some sort of clarity on, you know, visits, departures, arrivals, everything. Exactly. You know, so we're going to be calling on the administration for some explanations the next time we come. As we wind up this evening, I want to just give both you, Kelvin and Petal, the opportunity to give some closing statements. I know I would have asked you a question earlier in terms of what did you learn. So what new did you learn about your district? So I'm going to give you the opportunity now, and we're going to go on to Petal after.
Well, what new? I've grown up in the district, so it's difficult to, but in terms of one that I've always seen the kind of team spirit and that kind of thing, so it's difficult to pick one thing that I've learned new. But what I can say is that I am just grateful. One, I'm grateful to my team who would have ensured that we were able to execute and implement this wonderful family day. I am appreciative of all the sponsors. In fact, we have the WIM Credit Union, MI4, Mr. Williams of MI4, Miss Linda Eastman. We have Mr. Abraham. We had Essie Parks of Endeavors. You know, we have Mr. Hugh Roberts. And we had other persons, Paradise Hardware. And so forth. So what I learned is that we can achieve a lot with the resources that resides in the community, with the talents. We can do a lot, and you know, the sky's the limit when it comes to Darrell Spring WIM. I want to also thank the residents, you know, who came out in their numbers and who couldn't come. You know, they still kept very interested in what was going on. Up to today, I was getting messages, and so I just want to, I just want to thank them from the bottom of my heart. And we would continue to bring more of these exciting, you know, opportunities. We wanted to do something that is not superficial, that you just come and play, but we wanted people to have a holistic kind of experience, and I think that was achieved. So I want to thank the Almighty. I want to thank Minority Council as well for the support. You know, always there, always. You know, I want to thank her for coming out and giving good support as well. All my colleagues, political leader was there as well, Mr. Ansel Dennis, former political leader and Chief Secretary, Mr. Kelvin Charles. It was really good seeing you, sir. You know, and our chairman, Mr. Larry Paul, our Senator Lawrence Hislop, and even we got support from our Minister of Sport, who is represent Community Development and Sport, and Member of Parliament from Tobago West, MP Shamfa Kujo, who is representing us well at the Commonwealth Games. And Ayana did send her regrets because she was unwell at the time. So it was really, really an excellent day, and I want to tell the PNM people now, although we are on the Minority Report, this party is alive and well. That is what I took away from the sport at the end of the day.
And as you mentioned, the MPs there, I think yesterday was the birthday of Tobago East MP Ayana Webster-Roy.
Yes,
so we really want to say happy birthday to the Tobago East MP.
From your Minority Council. Petal, you going to sing happy birthday before you go?
We have a birthday. We had a birthday yesterday. We had a birthday yesterday. We had a birthday. We had a birthday. We had a birthday yesterday.
Spoken word, man. Yes. So, Petal, you can wrap us up as we get ready to leave.
One of the things the minority leader spoke to earlier is the fact of being our brother's keeper. And, you know, he would have spoken specifically to Darrell Spring WIM. But I want to speak to all of Tobago that we need to be our brother's keeper, especially in this time where persons are on the breadline, persons are seeking employment. It is a difficult time for persons who are employed in terms of the return to school, obtaining books, obtaining school supplies, uniform, etc. Far less for persons who are not employed at this time. And I'm saying for all of us, if you can assist wherever you can. Be your brother's keeper. Whatever little you can provide to help those in need, I encourage you to do so. I also want to extend, although it's a day late, but yesterday was Emancipation Day. So happy Emancipation to all of Tobago, and also happy belated birthday to Minister, MP for Tobago East, Mrs. Ayanna Webster Roy. And bigger congratulations to our minority leader on a very successful event yesterday. Vibes after vibes after vibes. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. And by a state. Special commendations.
How you enjoy the liquor cool?
The fruit punch was awesome.
So let me just also join Minority Council. Happy, well, we know Emancipation was yesterday, but we celebrate Emancipation every day. So I want to wish all of Trinidad and Tobago happy Emancipation Day. Hope everyone really utilize that opportunity to reflect on the struggles of our foreparents. I am one that really believes that the Western world owes us, and I know no financial reparation could compensate for that. What I believe is the most brutal human experience ever recorded. And I just want to, in going out again, big up my sponsors, big up, WIM Credit Union as well. I will have a special conversation with WIM Credit Union. I'm coming to have a discussion.
And they were there on the day as well.
Yes, they were there. We have a discussion lined up, where we can collaborate and empower people as well. So we can utilize the WIM Credit Union as that financial vehicle to empower the residents and ensure that we can provide opportunities for them, financial freedom and financial empowerment. So I want to thank each and everyone again. WIM Credit Union, I'm coming.
Thank you very much. And folks, you've been viewing the Minority Report, the special edition, actually. And we really we've had a time this evening, lots of laughter, some serious conversation, but I think the general takeaway is the community spirit and the camaraderie and the love that we saw demonstrated at the Sports and Family Day yesterday, and we really trust God that this is something that is going to continue to spill over into not just different homes on an occasion, but we want to see this happening every day throughout Tobago. Thanks for viewing the Minority Report, and we look forward to seeing you guys again next week, Tuesday at 8 p.m. sharp. And I want you to really share the word around. Let's have more persons involved in the conversation. We see a number of persons watching, some persons commenting, but we want to have this type of conversation spread wider so that we can have more input and more dialogue with persons. So without further ado, thank you to my guests and fixtures on the program. I'm stressing fixtures for being with us this evening, and we look forward to the continued discussions and the building out and so on as we go forth, as we build on the mandate that has been now given the Minority Council to represent the people of the island of Tobago. I want to wish you a wonderful night to those viewers and your families, and may God continue to richly bless you.